I'm going to show you my 3-step framework for anyone in any situation to buy real estate in today's market. Now, I know you see all these videos with all these thumbnails of all these people claiming that they have the new system, they have the new way, and they can show you something that nobody else can show you. Well, I have bought $50 million worth of real estate without using any of my own money. I've done over 1,500 wholesales and flips all in the past 10 years. And I legitimately have a 3-step framework that nobody else is teaching that will simplify and show you a clear path to what you should do and how you should invest in real estate based on your specific situation. If you have a low credit score and no money, I have a path in this 3-step process. If you're sitting on a 750 credit score, 40 grand in the bank, making 100K a year, I have a path for you to invest in real estate. This is a systematic, foundational concept, but it allows you to take it and take the ball and carry it to wherever you need to go. Hit that like button if you haven't. I promise nobody else is teaching it how I'm teaching. I'm taking multiple concepts and actually showing you based on my experience and my 2,000 students' experience of what actually worked. Let me introduce you to the 3 steps and then we're gonna break them down, okay? Step 1 is going to be find a distressed house. Again, simple concepts, okay? Sorry my writing sucks, I'm gonna talk what I type, all right? Step 2 is find money. If you're not using any of your own money, or even if you are gonna use some of your own money, you need to find other funding sources. And then step 3 is definitely not taught how I teach it. Step 3 is gonna be the freedom framework. Allow you to get freedom how you want it. It's like an execution, okay? I'll just call it FF from here out. But it's like executing the plan, okay? We get the house, we get the money, and then we execute the plan based on your specific needs, okay? So I'm gonna go over each step and give you tangible takeaways from this. And I've really never shown anybody this besides my students, so you're kind of getting the inside scoop. So again, hit that like button just so this reaches more people. I know it's annoying, but it's not really that hard to do. All right, let's talk about step 1. Step 1, and if you're paying attention, step 1 is going to be find the distressed house. Now, the important thing to note is you have to find a distressed house. For this all to work and to invest in real estate, how I'm gonna teach you and how most people will is you can't go find a market-ready house. You can't find a house that's recently listed on Zillow, that's your neighbor's house, that's in good condition, that's, updated. You have to find a distressed house that allows you to buy it at a discount, okay? Distressed equals discount, discount equals profit for you. Should have write that formula out, but maybe it'll pop up there, maybe it won't. Find a distressed property. Now there are 2 main sources to find distressed properties. Source 1 is going to be free lead sourcing, and then source 2 is going to be paid. Let's go over a few examples of some free lead sources that you can go after right now. And then we're gonna give you some examples of some paid resources that you can go after right now. And again, of course, I'm going to give you examples, show you how to find them. And then at the end of this video, I'm gonna give you some additional resources that you can utilize to go do all this faster and have like the roadmap, like literally on your phone or on your computer to go do it. All right, so some free lead sources. The number 1 free lead source, in my opinion, is gonna be wholesalers, okay? Wholesalers do not cost you any money to get a lead sent to you. Wholesalers make money when you buy the house, and it's just part of the deal. So it's not out of your pocket, like just getting the lead. So they're free leads. Wholesalers, their jobs are to go out and find houses all day, every day. They do the paid marketing for you. They do the networking for you. They go find the house, they get it under contract, hopefully with enough meat on the bone for you to still make money on it, okay? And they sell it to you and then they mark it up. They get something under contract for 130 and they sell it to you for 150 and you bought it at 150 and it's a great deal and they made 20, yay, everybody wins. You can find these wholesalers by going to your local real estate investing meetups. Our meetup here in St. Louis has 50, 60 wholesalers every single month. You can find them by going to your local real estate investing Facebook groups and asking around there and seeing the people that post the deals. The little bandit signs on the side of the road that say we buy houses, those are wholesalers. Snap a picture of those, call or text them. You're gonna get in contact with a wholesaler. And you can also just look up house companies online that buy houses. Like in St. Louis, if you type, sell my house fast, cash, or, real estate companies in St. Louis, Faster House will pop up, and we're a wholesaler here in St. Louis. So those are 4 ways to find wholesalers right there. And again, this stuff takes time, people. I'm quickly and trying to explain as best I can a pretty lengthy process, but it's worth it. We're talking houses, we're talking wealth, we're talking cash flow, we're talking tax savings. This is all worth it, so just stick with it, and at the end of this, you have a pretty clear plan. All right, wholesalers are number 1. Number 2, in my opinion, is real estate agents. So real estate agents are the front lines of the real estate industry. They're in and out of houses every single day. They will bring you their pocket listings, their handyman specials, their handyman fixer-uppers, those types of properties that are hard to sell in the open market. If you get to know agents, they will bring you these pocket listings before they even list them, so you won't have any competition, and the seller is already warmed up to you, and you don't have to negotiate with the seller, and the seller pays the agent, and you don't have to pay anything for the lead or the deal. It's a really beautiful thing. You can find real estate agents. I mean, you probably know some, so just try to find ones that are active in the real estate investing industry. Talk with some of the current ones that you know. If they're not active in the investing industry, ask them to introduce you to any investor-friendly agents that they know. Facebook groups, meetups, and just general networking, finding agents there, okay? And then the last free way that I would want to talk about is social media. My writing's I'm proud of that writing, by the way. Social media, okay? Social, I don't know if I spelled that right, but anyway, social media is a great way to find leads, whether it's through the Facebook groups, the connecting with people, but also just posting and letting people know that you invest in real estate online. It may sound simple, but you got to intentionally do it. People live online now these days, and letting them know in your online spheres of influence that you invest in real estate, somebody will come across a house eventually and come to you. Like we have one of my students, his name is Kurt. He was a teacher, and he's bought like 62 rentals in the past 2 years, most of them from social media. I gave him, and I give my students like a post to post on social media, like type it like this, say this, boom, and just post that every month or two, or once or twice a month, and you will start to get leads, because you're just like, hey, I'm Kurt. I invest in real estate. I've done this, and I'm looking to partner with anybody, or I'm looking to pay anybody that could bring me a lead on a distressed property. It can need a ton of work. The more work, the better. DM me if you or someone you know has a distressed house or a situation that I can help them out with. Like, better than that, but you get what I'm saying. Social media is a great place. We live online now, so you need to let your online friends know that you're investing in real estate. All right, the paid options, there's a lot of them. A big, pretty simple one is driving for dollars. Just drive around and look for distressed houses. This one requires more like skills. This one requires building connections. This one requires skills. You drive around, look for distressed houses, call them, email them, knock on the door, use an app. I'll give you an app to use. Actually, in fact, now's a good time to talk about that. If you go to the description of this video, I wait till the end, I'll remind you again, but investormatrix.io, it's a link to that. That is my new software that has everything I'm showing you today for you. Like, it has a Drive for Dollars app built in, and AI and CRM and a lot of different things. So that's the great way to do it, and just go check it out. There's a video that explains it more there. But anyways, Drive for Dollars is a great paid option. Direct mail. You're going to use my software or somebody else's software and go to a zip code and find houses that are, in pre-foreclosure, that have a lien, that are going through a divorce. And then you send them mail, and hopefully, eventually you will get a call, and that person needs to sell their house because they're going through a lot of stuff. You give them a fair offer, and boom, you got a house. And then the last one is AI technology. AI technology is making its way to the real estate investing space, specifically the deal sourcing space. I have AI software that is part of that Investor Matrix bundle that I talked about, that you push 2 buttons and you get leads, basically, that are super, super motivated. So I'm not going to go into it. Millions and billions of data points are used to predict if houses sell before they sell. So that's step 1, find the distressed house, okay? You find the distressed house, you have options. Even if you can't find the money in step 2, you can wholesale. Again, this works for people that don't have money, you can't find money, that want to wholesale, flip, or rent. This works for all of you, okay? So step 1, find the distressed house. You get it under contract, you can wholesale it yourself if you're not going through a wholesaler. All right, so step 2. I don't know why my 2s are goofy today, but they are. Step 2 is find the money, okay? You have to find money if you want to have more options. Again, technically the only thing you don't need any money for, yours or somebody else's, is wholesaling. But if you want to take it down and flip it, keep it as a rental, or close on it and wholesale it, because maybe you have more options. If you can close on it and shop it to more people, you'll get more money. You need to find other people's money, okay? So there are 2 main types of, interesting, right? 2 main types of funding that I want to talk about. There is short term, and then there is long term. All right, again, this is going to be for wholesaling and flipping and rentals, and this is going to be for rentals only, okay? Wholesaling, flipping, rentals, rentals only. Let's talk through it. So some main short-term funding sources, and again, there's a ton of them. I'm just trying to give you the main ones that I think you're going to want to use, is private lenders. This is the #1 option, and it's not even close. So private lenders are people that are just normal everyday people that have access to funds. They may or may not know they have access to funds that are willing to lend to you because you have a relationship with them. A lot of people don't really know what private lenders are. They either think they're hard money lenders and they're not, or they think they're a rich aunt, rich uncle. That's not usually the case either. It's W-2 employees. Like my private lenders, legitimately the occupations of my private lenders are 3 insurance agents, a couple teachers, 1 or 2 engineers maybe. We got a firefighter, a police officer, an architect, and then a couple entrepreneurs with some pretty good money. But like private lenders are just normal everyday people that have access to money, like via a home equity line of credit, like your neighbor or somebody you know. If they've lived in their house for 10 or 15 years, they have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equity in that house. They pull out a home equity line of credit, lend it to you, make the spread, boom, they're a private lender. IRAs, the #1 way to lend money. Self-directed IRAs are a great way for people to make extra money. So private lenders are definitely a great option, and you just need to know how to find them. And again, in that investor matrix, I feel like this is a pitch for that. It's not really. It's a product that you can buy if you want, and it's less than what you spend on coffee a month. But it's I give you scripts for private lenders, and let's just put it that way. And then #2 is hard money lenders. These are companies that are in business to lend money to real estate investors on a short-term basis on distressed properties for purchases and rehabs. I'm not going to do a pros and cons here thing, but hard money lenders are great. They're just definitely more expensive, and they require liquidity and down payments, and you have to get approved through a financial institution for hard money lenders. Private money lenders, there's no approval process. There's no credit check, there's no income check, none of that. They're relational based. You can find hard money lenders by local Facebook groups, meetups, all of those places. They're going to be there. They want to earn your business, or just Google hard money lenders near me. Or if you get the investor matrix to learn more about it, I have hard money lending company that I will lend you money. All right, and then now let's get on to long term. So this is if you're going to keep it as a rental. There are 2 main options here, of course. We're going to talk local banks. They lend money to small businesses. That's how local banks stay in business. They're not Bank of America, Commerce banks. They have depository accounts, and they charge you if you overdraft and all this crazy stuff, right? That is what Bank of America, and they sell your mortgages. That's how they make money. These small local banks, they don't have that luxury, so they lend money out to small local businesses. And if you're a real estate investor, you're a small local business, and they will lend you money on a 20, 25-year mortgage to own a rental property. And then the other option, which has been a lot hotter these days because of interest rates, are DSCR loans. Your typical small local bank right now is going to be around 8% for a commercial investment loan. My FasterFreedom Capital, my DSCR lending company, we're doing 6.4 at 30 years right now. So if you get a $250K loan at 8% over 20 years, which is what a lot of banks are doing right now, that's going to cost you like $2,000 a month-ish. You can do the math, it's about $2K. $250,000 loan, 8% over 20 years. If you use my company through the investor matrix, 6.4 over 30 years, that's about $1,500 a month. So that saves you $500 a month just by getting better terms. So just a little pro tip, whatever you want to call it there, to where I think it can really help you. And again, FasterFreedom Capital, you get discounts and access to that through that investor matrix thing. All right, we found step one, the house. We found the money in step two. Now let's talk about how anybody in any situation can utilize this with step three, and we're going to call it the Freedom Framework. I called it the FasterFreedom Framework, branding, but yeah, that's too long to type. So we're just going to call it the Freedom Framework. Work with it, looks almost like an E, like work, work, work. All right, okay, Freedom Framework. It's very simple. You found a distressed house. You found a private lender, let's say. How do you make money with it? You make money with it with the BRRRR method. And this is not the BRRRR method that you're typically thinking of, because this works for anybody in any situation. If you want to wholesale it, you stop here. If you want to, you buy it and then you wholesale it, boom, you're done there. If you want to fix and flip it, you buy it and then you rehab it and then you stop here because you sell it. And then if you want to keep it as a rental, you buy it, you rehab it, you rent it, you refinance it, and you stop here. So that's the delineation. The BRRRR method stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and systemize. I'm going to go over an example deal now for you, so don't worry. I'll break this all down. If you've heard of it and kind of understand it, this will make it easier, I promise. If you've never heard of it, this method will change your life. This BRRRR method, I bought $50 million worth of real estate using this. I bought 6 apartment complexes, like 160 single family rentals, 3 self-storage facilities. I bought a lot with this method, so it works for a lot of different things. The hotel bought with this method. So let's get rid of those guys, but that shows you, again, in any situation, you got a crappy credit score and no income for some reason right now, boom, you wholesale. This method works for that. You found the house, you don't even need the money technically, you buy it, wholesale it. You want to get bigger chunks by flipping it and making a bigger chunk of money and managing contractors and just a little more risk but way more upside, buy it, rehab it, boom, you're a flipper. If you want to keep it as a rental, you buy it, you rehab it, you rent it, and then you refinance it, boom, none of your own money for any of these options, and you own it. So let's go through an actual option, and let's keep the yellow. All right, okay, so buy. You found a distressed property that you can buy for $150K. Let's say a wholesaler brought it to you. That one I talked about earlier, they got under contract for $130K, and they sell it, they say, you can buy this for $150K. You run the math, you're like, boom, that works, all right? Let's say it needs $40,000 worth of work, buy, rehab. So what you need is you need $190,000 of somebody else's money to buy and repair the house. Boom, $190K loan from that private lender. Again, I know it's not that easy, but it's that simple, and I'm giving you resources at the end to help you do this. But, so you buy the house for $150 using a private lender's money, you rehab it for $40 grand. Now it is rehabbed and is a happy house. It's a messed up smile, but you get it. $190 grand of a private lender, or of a private lender's money in the deal. The next step is to get the property rented. Not going to go into a ton of detail on this one, but you can rent it Section 8. You can rent it to market renters. You can rent it on a midterm basis. You can rent it on a short-term basis, depending on the situation, your level of knowledge, the area. You can rent it out to a ton of different people to make sure it cash flows, all right? So you buy it, you rehab it, you rent it. Now this next step is the refinance step. This is only if you're keeping it as a rental, all right? Stop here if you're flipping it. If you're going to rent it, obviously rent it and then go here. So you have 190 grand of somebody else's money in the deal, none of your own. Now you bought it, you fix it up, you get it rented, you go to a small local bank or a DSCR lender, and they will give you a 80% loan based on the new value. Step one was that distressed and discounted property. You added value, you bought at a discount, so there's equity there, right? So 80% of the new value, this property appraises for $250K. So you get a $200,000 loan from the bank, a check from the bank as a new loan, and you pay back your private lender their $190 plus $10K in interest. So the private lender is now happy because they made $10K in interest without doing a thing and they're paid off. Now you do owe the bank $200,000, but that's either with a small local bank over that 20 or 25 years like I mentioned earlier, or a DSCR lender over 30 years, and your payment's very low, and you're able to cash flow and the rent pays the bank. So the private lender buys the house equity pays back the private lender, and then the rent pays back the bank, okay? So that's how it all works in a nutshell. It's just borrowing money and paying other people back with other people's money. But at the end of the day, and then the last step is system, which we're not going to get into. did that one kind of wrong, but you get it. Systems, we're not going to get into right now. That investor matrix can help with that, but it's just systemizing each step so you can grow and scale. But the thing I want to drive home here is you bought a property today. I'm like proud of my writing, in case you're wondering, in case you didn't notice today. 250K that you owe 200 on. So you have 50K in equity in one house you bought using none of your own money. Yeah, it was a lot of hard work, but let's let real estate do what it does. Guess what real estate does over time? It goes up in value. No matter what, death, taxes, and real estate goes up in value. Guarantees in life, okay? Over a long enough time. Real estate is going to go up in value. The tenant rent is going to pay down the mortgage. Then you get cash flow on top of it plus tax savings. So allowing that to happen, which I call that the passive wealth trifecta, 15 years from now, which is long, but not that long. Most people are willing to work for somebody else for 40, but this $250,000 house will be worth 500K. It will be worth 500K. The mortgage will be paid down to 100K. So you will now have $400,000 in equity without using any of your own money on one house you bought. You use any of your own money to buy it. The tenant's rent pays the mortgage and expenses, so you don't use any of your own money to maintain it. You're literally doing nothing except managing it, and one house is an hour a month to manage, or somebody else is managing it for you, and you have 400K equity in one house in 15 years. Crap, man, do this 5 times, and you'll have $2 million in 15 years. Be able to retire and do whatever you want in 15 short years. Or you can do this 5 times a year and really, really crank it. So that is the 3-step process. Find the distressed house, find the money, use the framework, and anybody in any situation can make this work. So if you appreciate this, hit that like button, subscribe. I'd appreciate that. Share this with a friend that you're maybe thinking about doing this with, because good partners can really, really help. And again, check out that description for a free training. It's a free video that explains this in a little further detail. Go to the link, it's free into webinar. Go to the link in the description there, and then that investormatrix.io. It's this new software that I just launched that's going to revolutionize the industry for less than you spend every single month on coffee. Check that out, and then check out this video over here where I walk through this Burr's method in a little bit more detail and explain things a little bit differently, but similarly to drive this home. See you on the next one.